a tremendous pleasure to be speaking with you today.
Now back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM800.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Yes, Joyce Blackmere in studio with me as well today. Thanks, Joyce, for joining me today.
Thank you.
2 days in a row.
Yep.
Lucky me.
Lucky me. Lucky me too.
Lucky you too. Okay, so listen, we were talking about neighbors and how yesterday was the National Be a Good Neighbor Day. Well, today we're flipping the coin over. We're talking about some tips for dealing with difficult neighbors peacefully.
Okay.
Have you ever had a bad neighbor?
No, not really.
We've had clients that we've had like horror stories from.
Direct neighbors have always been incredible.
Yeah. Well, ours too.
There's always a neyborhood hoodlum or something. But
we laugh.
Whatever.
And hopefully she's not listening to the show. But one of our first homes that we lived in, it was a semi. So It was attached. Like there was a wall shared between 2 units, and this is before we had kids. And the neighbor next door had kids about our kids' ages, even a bit younger now, a little bit. And we laughed. She was a single parent, and you could always hear her yelling at the kids. And Nick and I used to always think, man, like she yells a lot. Then we had our own kids.
Yes.
We're like, nope, yep, that was just completely normal.
That's right.
Like, we're this exact same. If someone lived next to us, they'd be like, what in the world is happening? But yeah. It was always like nothing crazy, just parenting, just regular parenting. Like, why aren't you in your room yet?
There's a limit. There's a limit.
Go do your homework. Just regular parenting. Nothing crazy. And we used to always chuckle and think, oh boy, she's at it again. But nope, that's totally us doing the exact same thing for the last 13
And it wasn't
years.
a form of birth control for you, so
nope,
here you
exactly.
are.
3 kids later. Okay, so tips for dealing with difficult neighbors peacefully. So on the list, number 1, start with empathy. Okay? Empathy. Now, I'm sure we all know someone who could listen to these tips.
Oh.
Right?
Yes. I'm listening.
Write them down. Start with empathy. So try to understand where your neighbor is coming from. Often, what seems like rudeness could simply be a misunderstanding or something they're not aware of.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to say I caution with sending texts. Right? Because oftentimes emotion can be misconstrued in text messages.
You're reading emotion based on how you're feeling, not how the other person's feeling.
That's right.
Yeah.
So be very careful. Start with empathy, which is why we've lost the communication of we've lost the fact that we can go communicate in person and you can see emotion and you can understand just take time to listen to someone's story and not just jump to conclusions. Right? Number 2, stay calm and collected. So never approach a neighbor in anger. Take a deep breath and wait until you're calm before addressing an issue. It's a good one.
Yep.
Calm. So start with empathy and then stay calm and collected. Number 2, address problems early. So if you notice an issue, don't let it fester. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to resolve these amicably. So, hey, Joe, listen, would you just mind, and we heard last night you had the music really loud and we were trying to put our baby to sleep. Would you mind just taking down a notch at night? Because
don't tell me what to do, Dan.
Well, we're going to play out some scenarios here.
Yeah.
Next, choose the right time. So timing is key. Don't bring up complaints during a stressful moment or in the heat of the issue. Find a neutral time when both you and your neighbor are relaxed. So have them over for a beer first. Hey,
get them drunk. Fuel up the drunks.
Exactly. Have a friendly approach. So knock on the door with a smile. Start with something positive before addressing the concern. We've all heard about sandwiching bad news.
Oh, yeah. Well, right? I don't know about that one.
A friendly tone can set the stage for a more productive conversation. So if you approach with attitude, it won't go well. But if you approach with a nice, plate of cookies. Joe, hey, how are you? Hey, Nick made some cookies for you. Oh, by the way.
I don't know. It'd be like.
Can I ask you a huge favor? Yes. Turn the music off. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye. Okay. Number 6 on the list of tips for dealing with difficult neighbors peacefully. Use I statements. Focus on how the issue is affecting you rather than blaming them. For example, I've noticed a lot of noise late at night and it's been hard for me to sleep. Instead of, you're too loud. Okay, maybe.
Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah. I don't see the issue. Offer solutions, not complaints. So when raising an issue, be prepared to offer a solution. This shows you're willing to work together to solve the problem, not just pointing fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, listen, the baby goes to bed at 7 o'clock. Would you mind just, about that time, just taking it down a notch, and maybe somebody catches a drift,
Most people are very reasonable. We're being silly. But most people are reasonable. Yeah.
Especially if it's approached properly from the get-go.
Yeah.
And not with attitude and anger, then hopefully somebody has common sense. Hopefully. Because a lot of people do not have common sense in this world.
That is a fact.
Set clear boundaries is next on the list. If the conflict is about property lines or personal space, politely but clearly communicate your boundaries to avoid further misunderstandings.
Next.
Be open to compromise. So remember, it's not about winning the argument. Ooh, it's a big one. Look for a middle ground where both you and your neighbor can be satisfied.
I don't know. I like to win.
Yes, you are a winner. Like to win.
Challenge accepted.
Document the issue. So if the problem persists and may require formal action, it's a good idea to document incidents, especially if it involves noise, property damage, or disputes over boundaries. Mm-hmm. So, okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm. Keep conversations private. So don't air your grievances in front of other neighbors. Approach your neighbor one-on-one to prevent embarrassment or escalation.
Well, this goes back to that
if that doesn't work, then
then take the
grievance
to the community group online.
And this is the issue I was talking about earlier. Maybe it was yesterday's show, where people today, the neighbors today, we have these Facebook groups for the neighborhood, and the first thing they do, instead of talking to somebody head on, they'll just air their grievances on the Facebook group. Like, really? How about you walk over to the neighbor's house?
And it makes you wonder why some neighborhoods don't know their neighbors.
Sure.
Because maybe they just don't want to.
Well, do you blame them, really? Right? Okay, next on the list, know the bylaws, local bylaws. So sure, there's noise bylaws, whatever bylaws there could be, right?
Yep.
Avoid gossiping with other neighbors. So spreading gossip about your difficult neighbor will only make matters worse. Stay professional and handle the issue directly. Get a third party involved if necessary. So if the issue continues and you can't resolve it on your own, consider asking a neutral third party, like another neighbor.
Grab your buddies, hop in. Oh my gosh.
Try written communication. So if face-to-face conversations aren't working, leave a polite written notice explaining your concern. Some people may respond better to written words. So don't do it on the Facebook group. Do it in a nice little note with cookies.
Mm-hmm. Send an email.
This is a great one, too. Stay mindful of cultural differences. Sometimes conflicts arise due to different cultural norms. So be the respectful and understanding of diverse ways of living, especially in the multicultural neighborhoods like we have here in Windsor, Essex County, right?
Yep.
Be patient. So resolving conflicts takes time. Don't expect an immediate fix, and give your neighbor time to make adjustments, whether it's fixing a noisy dog or cutting back on an overgrown tree.
I think that at the end of the day, I'm hearing this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't imagine rational responses. But I think in the moment, it'd probably be a little, there'd be some annoyance and maybe a bit of an emotional response. But at the end of the day, when people have a chance to sort of sit and think about it and think, okay, yeah, maybe I could turn that music down or not mow my lawn at 7 a.m. or whatever.
Sure.
That they will come to terms with that themselves.
100%. Two more on the list. Respect their privacy. So even if you're frustrated, be mindful of your neighbor's privacy and personal space. Mm-hmm. Invading that space can make things worse, not even better, right? And last one, know when to walk away. Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the best solution is to agree to disagree and move on. If the conflict isn't severe and won't affect your quality of life long term, it might be best just let it go.
I'm waiting.
What?
You usually end with some sort of a song. Let it go.
Oh, let it go. No, not today.
Not today.
There you go. That's it. Hopefully that's helps you if you've got some neighbor issues. There's some tips for you, okay? So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the emotional side of moving, Joyce, tips to make the transition easier. Later on in the show, we'll have our listener questions of the day as well. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.